I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's what we count on you for on this show, Brett. Thank you. Anyway, so as you can clearly see, the title of this video is You Have It So Good, ...
Ellipses.
Yes. So what do we mean by that? We're going to...
Who are you?
Oh, God. Who am I?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Brett.
Okay. Yes, I'm Kyle. We are your hosts, as always. Anyway, title of the video, You Have It So Good. What do we mean by that? We mean, and before you comment and before you send your emails and phone calls and Morse code messages, I don't know.
Flags.
We understand that there are people in the world that don't live the same way as we do. We do. Trust me, we understand that. You don't need to tell us. We understand. We are limiting this to people in, say, the United States, Europe, Western countries where we are familiar with, right? So what we mean by You Have It So Good is you have it so good that you have to make things up to complain about. Is that a good way of putting it? Simple?
Yeah, that's it. You have it so good that you're finding you're walking on a glorious parking lot and finding one pebble to step on.
Right.
How's that?
Yeah, right. Like, well, and I'm glad you said that because it reminded me of something. I think this ties in very well. If you've ever watched any of Louis C.K.'s stand-up comedy, it ties in very well with that. He's got a bit, I can't remember which one it's in, where he's talking about people's, how amazing it is that people can get annoyed at their cell phone and how incredible of a piece of technology their cell phone is, and yet they can still get mad at it and say things like, I hate Verizon because it was weird for like a second.
Yeah, like, do you realize what's happening when I do this?
Right.
I can talk to literally anybody.
Right. Like, that's kind of what we're talking about with this. And this is the primer video. So this is kind of the beginning video where we're going to lay out this idea, and we're going to delve into some of these topics that we're going to reference here in future videos. So, like I said, this will kind of give you an introduction to this idea. So, I guess what are some? Let's give some examples of what we mean. Of what people are complaining about. Right. So, one that's a bugaboo of mine, and this could stem a lot of videos. Flat earthers.
Ooh.
Let's just start there.
Yes.
I'm just gonna throw the big one down. Flat earthers. You have it so good that you are able to ignore not 10 years, not 50 years, not 100 years.
Not 200.
But literally thousands of years of human knowledge and observation and claim that the earth is flat. Why can you do this? You can do this because you live in a glorious Western civilization that has made your life so easy and simple that you have never once had to look at the sky and try and figure out when the next season's going to show up, because if you don't know exactly when it's happened, all your crops are going to die and your entire family's going to die. You have it so good, you've never had to even think about that. So you can walk out your front door and say, Earth is flat.
Look at that.
Looks flat to me.
Table's
flat plane. There are flat earthers that get on airplanes.
Take pictures out the window.
And still think the earth is flat. So we're not going to go super far into that right now. That is just my number one example. What's one for you? Anything.
I guess just because I see it on our little list here, I think anti-vaccinations trigger me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I don't even know
I think
where
it's a similar argument to what I just said.
Yeah, like I don't even know where to begin with that because it's...
You have to ignore 100 years of science. Hundreds of years of science.
Yeah, I mean, that one's not really thousands, but...
No.
It's at least hundreds.
Right.
And, yeah, it's...
Empirical data. Just so many things that you have to ignore.
Yeah, it's just insane to me that you wouldn't. The guy, what's his name? That guy who started this whole movement. I can't remember his name.
Specifically, yeah.
I'll flash it on the screen at this point.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll put it up there.
Based on this one guy who did research on.
Oh, you're talking about the autism stuff?
Yeah, did research on the mercury that was in certain vaccines, which almost every vaccine now doesn't even have that
anymore, right? Yeah.
And so you're basing that your entire premise of not protecting your children from horrific diseases that wiped out more people than exist alive right now.
Right,
throughout the history.
And you're saying it right there. You have it so good that you've never seen someone die of smallpox.
Right.
You've never seen someone get measles.
Mm-hmm.
You've never had to experience this. So you have it so good that now you get to just ignore science.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane.
What else is to be said?
What else is to be said?
Especially when the whole autism thing, how it's identical twins are something like 75% likely to, if one has autism, the other one has it. So
right. Clearly has a genetic component.
There's a very strong genetic component to it, and I don't know. We'll get into that in a separate
exactly.
episode.
We're gonna have separate videos on a lot of these topics. You know, this is gonna be kind of this channel. We kind of visualize as like a tree, right? We're gonna make sort of beginning primer videos. We're gonna put them in playlists, so you'll be able to kind of watch them in order as we make them if you want to do it that way. But we'll have series of videos, hopefully shorter videos, maybe longer ones, who knows, about each one of these topics. But we're not just going to talk about the science stuff with this topic. This one goes into a lot of things, like, you know, you have it so good that you had to make something up to complain about, right? So you had to figure out, we're going to lose 50% of our viewership right now. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay, so let's talk. We're probably going to make a video about the wage gap, okay? I'm just going to be honest here. We're going to make a video where we talk about how, you know, feminism has done so many great things. Has produced the right to vote, has gotten women equal rights with men. We have anti-discrimination laws. We have equal pay laws. We have all of these things that are great.
Mm-hmm.
And so now there's nothing left to do. You have it just as good as everyone else does. So now you have to make up a specter in the dark of patriarchy that if you sit down and ask, okay, so what laws would you change to fix this? They can't produce any because they don't have anything, so they say that, well, it's a structural problem.
Because if you're a woman and you go to a job, you apply for it, you don't get it because you feel because you're a woman and you can prove that,
right.
You have an insane lawsuit on your hands,
right.
And you're going to get so much money.
Right.
But, I don't know, maybe they say, oh, well, I can't prove it.
Right. Well, but, and I mean, I guess the reality is when I say you have to make something up to complain about, again, you have all the same rights. The war, basically the war is over.
Mm-hmm.
You've won. We're all equal. We're all the same. So now the feminist organization or whatever, why does it exist now? And it has to figure out a reason to continue. So it's got to find something to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there's no reason for it to exist. So that's another one we'll get into. There's lots of other ones. You know, we're going to talk about the fact that everyone's got a refrigerator in their house and how incredible of a thing it is, how great you have it.
The fact that you're currently... It's winter right now, so currently your furnace is fighting your refrigerator, which is fighting your furnace,
right.
Which is fighting your refrigerator.
Right. Like,
which is fighting the elements outside.
Right, like, and I mean, we're going to get into other crazy stuff. We're going to get into chemtrails. We're going to talk about, you know, people, we're going to talk about, you know, living wage. That's going to be a whole video. Like, what does that mean? You know, what do you mean living wage? We're going to talk about the miracle that is, you know, the modern car that people don't... All of these things that people don't think about on a daily basis, but are real things that make your life so great that you don't even think about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that basically the premise is you're looking at your life and thinking, wow, Bill Gates has so much great stuff. He's so rich. Man... my life sucks. When in fact, your life is freaking amazing. So I mean, those are some of the topics we're going to talk about in this series of videos. I guess the only things we really want to say in this are just kind of, I guess, prime you with, why do you think there's so? I feel like there are a lot of these things. I feel like we have 100 videos we could make just on this topic.
Right.
And I think it stems from the amount of time people have. Mm-hmm. Because again, you have it so good. You don't have to work on the farm. You don't have to do any of these things. So you have time to just sit there and think about, well, what if everybody in the world is wrong except me and the Earth is actually flat? Right? Like, there's no other explanation for it.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's going to be a lot of opinion involved in these videos because these are going to be our opinions. We're gonna back things up with facts. We will do your research for you. The one thing we're not going to do, and I didn't tell you this beforehand, so get ready. No, the one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to give these people airtime. So we're not going to like play a video of some guy talking about how he thinks the Earth is flat and then like rebut them. We're just going to go through some of the arguments that they make and talk about why they're insane and why they're wrong.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I don't want to give anti-vax people, chemtrail people, flat Earth people, socialists, anti-GMO people, I don't want to give these people any more airtime than they already have. Yeah. So, yeah, we're not going to go about it in that way. We're just kind of going to talk about them. So, again, there's going to be opinions involved in these pieces.
I think an important thing to note is that we're not saying that you have it so good you should just stop worrying about anything.
Right.
We're not saying you should just be fine with the way things are. We're not saying that. Right. We're saying there's just certain things that people are coming up with that you should be aware are, I don't know what to say other than insane.
Yeah. Well, and I think this, again, we're going to always wrap it around to our ultimate point in this show, and that is people have the right to believe whatever they want. If you want to believe the Earth is flat, that is fine. Believe the Earth is flat all you want. I don't care. But when that kind of thing starts to affect policy, political policy, now obviously flat Earth is an extreme example, but when you get ideas like socialism, which are equally as debunked in my head as the Earth being flat, being talked about realistically in political circles, with laws being made that go along with that vein, that's when things like this become a real problem. If you want to believe nonsense, I have no issue with that. But
right.
What we don't want is that coming in and negatively affecting other people.
It's just like the right to free speech. You have the right to say and believe whatever you want as long as you're not
slander. Right.
Well, not even that. It's as long as you're not making a call to action that's going to harm other people.
To violence. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really kind of what we're going to talk about with this series. And I think talking about the policy issues and the political issues kind of segues us into what we're going to do in episodes 4. Might split it into 2. Basically, episode 4, we're going to do another primer video where we're going to talk about sort of lobbyists and campaign finance and some of the issues involved in that. And obviously, we're always going to offer our opinions and how we think we might be able to fix those problems. Obviously, we always encourage your feedback. So if we're talking about a topic and you have something that you really want to see in a video or something you really like to see us talk about or you think we're wrong, whatever, send it to us. Comments, emails, text messages, carrier pigeons.
I was going to say that.
Got there first. Send it to us. We'll check it out. Maybe we'll make it into a video. We hope you like the show. We hope you like and subscribe. We hope you're enjoying it. Again, feedback is encouraged.
Kind of necessary.
Yeah, very.
I don't want to feel like I'm talking to nobody.
Right. No, agreed. Agreed. Because if we're talking to nobody, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't think I did it in the last video, but I just quickly like to mention our sponsor, Phoenix Ammunition. They have provided us with a space to do these videos. They're not paying us or anything like that. But we do very much appreciate them providing us the space to do this. So check them out. We'll leave a link in the description for their website if you're into that kind of thing. If not, live your life like always, right?
That's what libertarianism's about.
Hell yeah, brother. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Sleep well.
Peace out.